Good morning, my dear students. Today we will discuss about one more new important chapter of your geography book, that is latitude and longitude. What is the name of this chapter? Latitude and longitude. Dear students, before entering into the chapters, first of all we have to discuss some facts. Have you noticed whenever your parents want to visit some new places but they have no any idea about it, how can they find this place? Yes, it's only through the Google. Because whenever we enter our number and the address of this place, this Google can give you the every details of this place. But have you thought about how Google does it? Yes, it's only through this. In the Google, some numbers are stored, and only through this number that Google can give us the every details about this place. Okay, you know that in each and every houses there are some numbers, and whenever the postman want to deliver the letters, the postman find the places, find the house only through these numbers. Okay, like this, Google also find the every details of these places only through these numbers. Then some questions must arise in your mind that what is the numbers that Google stored? Yes, that is the latitudinal number and the longitudinal numbers. What is the numbers? Latitudinal numbers and longitudinal numbers. So first of all, we have to know what is latitude and what is longitude. My dear students, just look at, I am drawing one picture on this blackboard, and from this you have some idea about the latitude and longitude. Just look at, I have drawn one picture. What is this? Yes, this is Earth. This is, what is it? This is the picture of Earth. You know that this is the north direction, north pole, this is the south direction. And this is the west part and this is the east part. They have four directions. One is north, another one is south, another one is west, and last one is the east. The lines, the imaginary lines that stretches from the north to south. Just look at, this is one imaginary line that stretches from north to south. This line, this is the vertical lines, and this vertical line is called as what? That is called the prime meridian. What is it called? Prime meridians. This prime meridian stretches from north to south. Another imaginary line that stretches from west to east. Another imaginary line that stretches from west to east. What is it called? This line is called as the equator. What is it called? Equator. Okay. This line is called the prime meridian that stretches from this north to south, and this line stretches from west to east is called as the equator. Okay. And both these lines, prime meridian and equator, prime meridian divides the earth into two equal halves from the western part and the eastern hemisphere. Western hemisphere, eastern hemisphere. Prime meridian divides the earth into two parts. One is western hemisphere, and eastern hemisphere. Okay. And another line that stretches from west to east, that divides the earth into two equal halves, that is northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. You know, clear about it? This line, that vertical line that stretches from north to south, that is called the prime meridian, and that divides the earth into two equal halves, that is the western hemisphere and the eastern hemispheres. And another imaginary lines that stretches from west to east, that is called as the equator, and this equator divides the earth into two equal halves, that is called the northern hemisphere, another one is the southern hemisphere. Okay, and except that we have to know what is latitude and longitude. All these lines, all these parallel lines, just look at all these parallel lines that stretches from north to south. All these parallel lines that stretches from north to south, these lines are called as the longitudinal lines. What is it called? All these parallel lines stretches from north to south. This is called as the longitudinal lines. And all these lines, all these parallel lines that stretches from west to east. West to east. This is called as the latitudinal lines. What is it called? What is it called? Latitudinal lines. Latitudinal lines. So, latitude is called as the lateral. What is it called? Latitude. Latitude is called lateral. Lateral lines. All the lateral lines are called as the latitude, and the long lines are long lines. Long lines are called as the longitude. Okay. My dear students, you got some idea about this. That is, the lines, the vertical lines, the stretches from north to south is called as the prime meridian, and the horizontal lines that stretches from west to east is called as the equator. Prime meridian divides the earth into two equal halves, that is the western hemisphere and eastern hemisphere, and equator divides the earth into two equal halves, that is the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. And after that, all these parallel lines that stretches from west to east and north to south, west to east is called as latitudinal lines, and the east to north to south is called as the longitudinal lines.